know, right? Lenny, you could have given us 2 extra minutes. Uh-oh.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Oh no!
Furina! No, I still need answers.
Alright. I don't think she deserves to die like this. That looks like a very big guillotine. Who is that? Is that Furina? It's a beautiful outfit, but... You Egeria?
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
Is it Furina?
You are not Furina. Who are you?
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor.
This is the voice we heard at the very end.
The god.
Focalor.
1.2 trailer.
Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the 7, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time.
Wow.
I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit. leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity, and the human counterpart I left behind, I named Furina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles.
Wow.
Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy?
Brilliant, actually.
The Hydra Archon, alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of
you
that
forced her to
prophecy
become a
coming
liar.
to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Furina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it.
It sounds like you do.
It's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
I don't know what to say. I came into contact with Furina's tears. If I remember correctly, tears often contain a being's strongest emotions. With sufficiently strong hydrosensitivity, I can form an emotional connection, just like I did with that Oceanid at the Fountain of Lucine. Wait, could this be Furina's inner world? Interesting. So Nivelette was meeting with Focalor, and here we are meeting with Furina. But yeah, exactly as Focalor said. Basically, subjecting a human to live life like a god, but with none of the benefits of being a god. Somebody who just probably goes to sleep every night feeling like a fraud every single day for hundreds of years. Basically, just forcing someone to be something that they're not. And it was all in the name of saving everyone, but still. Furina, what is she doing on stage? Wait a moment, that probably isn't Furina. That's likely a reflection of her inner self. If I can directly speak to that self, I might be able to easily get what I want to know. I came here for answers. Either way, this opportunity is not to be missed. Let me try talking to her. The opera of Noirceur et Blancheur. Furina.
invited you to come onto the stage. Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules.
Well, technically, I think you invited me here, but okay.
All right. It is not my
Don't
intent
look at me,
to
don't look at me? What does that
reprimand you.
mean?
There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract
What, should I
me
not
from
look
my
at the light?
performance.
What do you mean, don't look at me? That's scary. That's scary, actually, because that didn't look like an inner thought, kind of. It might have been her inner thoughts. It's probably her inner thoughts. But I thought that was like an, oh my gosh, if I look at the light in real life, I'm gonna actually get like eye damage or something. But I don't see an audience here.
Oh, do not jest.
Oh, it is her inner
Can
thoughts.
you not feel it?
Just let the stage lights go off, please. Only for a second.
I am Focalor.
That
The
way I
eyes
can
of
become
countless
myself
Fontainians
again.
are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility.
Something's off. There's no getting through to her. Even her heart of hearts, she's still playing the role of the Hydro Archon. What sort of resolve must she have that even in her inner self and subconscious would have such an impenetrable defense? I have to find a way. Well, turn off the spotlights then. That's the...
Dear audience, the performance is
what?
experiencing a
Did you
technical
not...
difficulty, but worry
We didn't want
not.
the part where I said, like...
Shall resolve it soon.
Okay, Crystal, I love how the somber music stays. What about the part where I said this team is not actually equipped to fight? I cry without echo, shackles.
Brace yourself. This is gonna hurt.
Let the world come alive!
I guess I shouldn't be using Furina, technically, but I'm sorry, that's what needs to be done. But, yeah. So, a human with a divine other self, forced to act like a god when she's not. But more importantly, Focalor described the fact that she loved who Furina was because Furina was the humanity that she wished she had. So it's torturous for Furina and also probably for Focalor as well, to basically force that real side of you, the side of you that's closest to humanity, to act anything but.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Sorry. I don't think those guards are... Uh-oh. Silence will end. Jeez.
Shouldn't let your guard down.
It is basically like torturing her.
Who's next?
Okay.
The show begins!
Just let me heal up for a second and just take in what's happening. Is that why she has a vision? She has a vision because she's a human. A god split their divinity and humanity, but forced their humanity to act most divine. It's basically what I'm getting from this.
Water jet!
How do I get him to heal himself? Is it only with the burst? I thought the skill does it too. I'm not gonna lie, I'm also waiting. Is he okay? His fighting is back, which is good. Okay, last one. That's all the spotlights turned off. In Furina's heart, they must have symbolized the eyes of the people on her. Speaking of which, I think I just received some sort of signal. Was that her true voice? A ticket? When did that end up here? Either way, it looks like the show is about to begin. In that case, show me how you truly feel, Furina. We cannot see her very well at these front row seats in a tall stage, but okay. Scene 1. Before a mirror, Furina. Who is it that she truly sees in the mirror?
Furina. Furina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am
She's
before
her dark
you.
form now with her short hair.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me? How can this be?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me today. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where the scales
She's
should
very
tilt?
selfless and kind.
You truly are the perfect human. My ideal. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed?
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
Wow, that's
I'm
really
still
deep,
not
actually.
sure I understand, but I'll try. I'll try to do this. So, how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
Scene 2. Ascension speech. Or a session speech? Furina. It's not going to be becoming divinity, but encountering your humanity.
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? To be honest, I still don't know. Perhaps I should first try to act natural.
Summon courage.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Furina de Fontaine, your new Archon.
Be earnest.
In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice.
Close politely.
Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-back puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the people from the prophecy. Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Calm down, Furina. Think. What do the people want? How would they imagine a god to speak and act? Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play.
You pretend long enough, you start to believe for yourself that you truly are something else.
Very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous
Bluffing like this
trials
since the beginning.
alongside my august self, here in this opera house. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside
Eureka
an
moment,
opera house?
audience member.
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful.
You know, people are saying this, but I assume this happened right after the Conroe disaster.
It
And
seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow.
They
and
seem
restore
very-
my accession speech.
I would have thought the mood would be more somber after, but I guess this is some time after. Summon courage, or resolutely, with conviction.
My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
Turn up the drama.
The scales of justice should not weigh heavy
I'm seeing
in the
how this is
hands of its
going.
God. On
With
one
every
side,
phrase
it
she
must
says, she
carry
loses her
fairness
humanity
and
a bit
justice.
more and more.
And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine.
End the speech emphatically.
There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
And that's the Furina we know. And that's the creation of the Furina as Fontaine knows it. Scene 3, Opera House, Furina.
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true, I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
A little hint of her true self in there.
Lady Furina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right, Deuteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and you knew of my family too. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
You're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
With every step, she loses less and less of her, more and more of herself.
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
And when she goes to sleep at night,
the day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this whole time. But it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going, and everyone will be saved. Alright, Furina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Scene 4, Opera House, Furina.
Lady Furina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Furina, I've waited so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
She's losing her humanity even more.
Lady Furina,
the god
we're detecting
complex
significant
is
hydrological
taking
anomalies
over.
near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up at the Institute. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Scene 5, Opera House, Furina. Many more days.
Lady Furina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deoteria.
Oh, that's a
20
very long
generations
time.
ago.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer, a descendant of a line most ardent.
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Furina. My lady?
What is it, good citizen?
Oh, are you crying?
Uh-huh. Really now? I didn't even notice.
She's been doing this for a long time, hasn't
This
she?
must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
Makes you wonder how the actual Archons themselves deal with living for so long, too. I mean, they're not devoid of humanity either.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer?
That's the voice we hear inside the fountain. If you turn the audio down, you hear someone crying. That's what she says.
Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much.
Furina.
Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far?
And that's what the Traveler is here
I've
for.
conducted so many
The witness.
investigations across the centuries. But there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
Opera House, Furina. Oh, look at all of the tally marks.
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share your burden with you.
That's right. That's my voice? I know, shocker. Is this scene from when we were within the giant magic box? This is great. I didn't think that this scene would replay in her inner world. Surely I'll find out what she wanted to tell me this time.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here.
And I realize, so she's had hundreds of years worth of emotional trauma that we'd be willing to take off of her shoulders. That's a lot.
And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case... He's right. I could confide in him,
Short hair
couldn't
for
I?
me.
But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Furina. You shouldn't be selfish.
Yeah. I know 500 years later is too late to be saying this maybe, but it's not selfishness. It is just your human need to feel emotions, and that's something you've been deprived of for hundreds of years. I can't imagine.
But what if it's really alright? Furina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Furina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better.
So she wasn't going to say anything
All you
anyway.
need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
That's how determined she was. She would even let that opportunity slip by.
Fine.
So we gotta let Ether talk more. And that's where the story ends until now.
So even Furina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself.
That is certainly, I mean, that's true. If you want to if you want to deceive someone that deeply, absolutely no one, including yourself, can even know the plan. But then, just think about, where did Furina find the motivation and the conviction to subject herself to all of that for 500 years just because of what you said?
She did very
Just because
well.
she took your word
If
for
she
it.
had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important
what's your
thing.
side of the plan?
Ah, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
Not at all.
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. Right. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the Oratrice.
I knew it.
Fontaine's
I knew
gnosis
the
with
gnosis
me.
was in the Oratrice.
Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding
but I
of
didn't
this
know
device
it was gonna go
still lacks
this far.
sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
See.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, Did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Furina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine.
Makes sense.
The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by
Whoa,
Celestia,
okay, hold on.
and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne. If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must
There were 7 thrones after the Archon War. She's trying to upset the balance of that.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course.
Oh, right.
In
Because
other
they
words,
took the powers from the
this
dragons.
was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Her dress is beautiful, by the way.
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the face you make.
all you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
Does Furina have a vision at the end because now she's no longer bound to Focalor? And she's fully human?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry.
Aww.
I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice.
Wow.
In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence. Defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on, that should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalors.
Very devious.
Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
What happened to Furina then? His powers returning. Thank you, Furina, for all you've done. From this moment on, please live happily as a human, just as I wished we could.
I, Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened?
What just happened is the great
death
question.
sentence been carried out?
How about the fact that the giant gaping portal is still in the middle of them? That seems like such a small thing right now. I knew this was gonna make me cry, but I knew with Furina, she would be the kind of character where I wouldn't like her on the outside, but I would like her once I got to know her more. But it almost hurts more now, knowing that she was forced to be that way on the outside. That every day she had to act like that was another day of torture, because for a pure human to lose all of their humanity, doing everything that's going against their nature, and forcing themselves to do that for hundreds of years beyond what humans live, how long humans live, to the point where try to start to believe it yourself, and yet you can't. That just adds layers of context to the... I mean, like I said, you never judge a book by its cover, but at the same time, that just adds so much more pain than I thought it could have. I mean, I feel like what's illustrated perfectly in this story is that humanity's desire is to feel that we are emotional creatures, and that these emotions take over us at crucial periods of time. And just, if she's the most pure human of all, a human without any trace of divinity, then like forcing herself to not feel at all. And Neuvillette too. There is just so much going on.
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
Didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
Come on, a moment ago? It just seems like it was so long ago. It was forever ago. Look, I knew this was going to be a tearjerker, but... I know I'm a pretty empathetic person, and when I see these kinds of stories that are so immersive into the life as well as the emotions and suffering that people go through, it's just like an opera that Furina would love. It's so moving, I haven't even been able to. That's what I love with these games. It's a little bit different than books or movies where you feel like you're the spectator. In games, you feel like you are actually there, and you are literally walking alongside somebody, hearing them tell their story. Yeah. You notice we haven't gotten like a break yet in terms of like the traveler walking around. Like, if I hadn't dedicated this night to be spent on this entire activity, I don't think we've had a break in being able to like check our inventory or anything in over an hour. What would happen if my game crashed? Would I have to like click through all of this emotional dialogue again and feel really bad because... Alright, enough crying for now. We gotta get going.
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
You obtained power just now?
Traveler, now that the oratrice can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice.
You mean me? By the way, so are we implying that since Focalor was the oratrice, basically she was just agreeing with everything Neuvillette said until she saw key characters like, oh, we need child to go over here. And then that's why she handed a guilty verdict here. And then, of course, the true purpose was for her to sacrifice herself in the end. And therefore, that was the time for her to send out the verdict that the Hydro Archon must pay. The Hydro Archon has the death sentence. Yeah, I guess it's you, Ether.
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
The others must be super confused. And look, the traveler doesn't even get a little break now. You're right. That is... Uh-oh. Wait, you didn't let me change my team! Whoa, you can't do that. No. When we went to fight Shoki no Kami, we got to change our team before going...
But how are we going to do that?
I don't know if you're standing there.
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordials.
Maybe you didn't let me change my team!
I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon power. I shall look for an opening.
Thanks. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This is... how do I hit it? Are we talking literally here?
I can feel its soft,
Like, literally, I don't know what I hit it with. Like, do I go up to it? Oh, yes, that's gonna do great amounts of damage. Nebula, did it have to be like now? Like the portal is still open.
The show begins.
But I Nua Osira. Okay. Well, I have Furina, so
the all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Its will present itself.
Not only am I not only there's not allowed to change the team before the fight, I wasn't even allowed to change my team in like the hour and a half leading up to the fight. Are you no. Can't do that. What? No, who is that? Is that child? That doesn't look like him. We just saw him.
Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Thanks, dude. That's so helpful right now. And yes, I'm fighting as child. I mean, is this guy the vision from the far side of the sea? No,
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment to use my power to suppress its root from within.
Okay, this is, or at least we're fighting to some sick beats, but like... Uh-oh. What is this music? This is awesome! I didn't even have time to change my team in the hour and a half leading up to this. Which meant that I couldn't have been like, hey, you know, I wonder if they're just gonna throw us into the battle. Okay, come on. That's what we wanted, right? Oh, brilliant. No. This is so slow.
Brace yourself.
This is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Time to shine.
I still need to heal her up. Let's see. You know, hey, another question. So, do we have to use Numa or Osea for that, or can it be anything? Because if so, there's also a great possibility you would have let me go into battle without any characters that can trigger Numa or Osea. Uh-oh, no. It's nice I have a healer character, but I mean, she's not built, so it's obviously very slow. The Ether's thing didn't reach. Okay. This is not the way this is supposed to be fought. Hang on. Check this out again. Just go out. Get him. Is this child, or is this like the human entity of the narwhal? Okay, let me get this straight. So, despite the whole prophecy being about basically Egeria and what she did, this is all gonna culminate into a great multi-dimensional traveling narwhal eating the energy. Hang on. Oh, no, 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 no. See, I don't wanna waste the thingy on Charlotte by accident, the revival material. Darn it. Okay, hang on. Actually, you've been healing up pretty well. Okay, hang on. I'm just too far away to reach you. Uh-oh. Okay. That was great. Cutscene time. Thanks, Neverlet. This is a big whale. What does that mean? Oh, goodbye, child.
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
Hold on, that's... first of all, hi. It's nice to meet you. I've been waiting to meet you for a long time. And I get to meet you now. So, hello. Second of all, I guess for her it's just a... Oops, this happened. Oh, I wanted to see her interact with Child, but I guess not, since he got thrown into another portal.
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
Yeah. I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world. So you may speak to me as equals.
I wouldn't say we defeated it. We got a third of its health bar. But what sort of person would take the all-devouring narwhal as a pet?
I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks.
Hold on. She said that she has more important things to do. However, in the text it says my disciple. And to which I say, it looks like it almost killed him, but okay. Maybe he's not ready for that responsibility yet.
It fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master. Wait, is that
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sertologi.
Who?
I am unfamiliar with
Same.
that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well, How about the Visionary? Vetterfulnir, then? Or Gold
Well, we know her.
Rhine?
Ooh, that one we've heard. Rhine Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom,
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either.
Okay.
But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Daughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait, didn't you also mention a visionary person? Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos.
Oops.
In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
I'm sorry. After so much emotional turmoil, after learning that Furina, a pure human being, has basically been torturing herself in devotion to her cause to pretend to be a god to help Focalor, and Focalor, in her devotion to tricking the heavenly principles, to finally find a way to destroy the seed of the Hydro Archon and return power back to the dragons. You're telling me even that was part of the self-fulfilling prophecy? A prophecy that is so inescapable that we cannot... we can't reverse psychology it. Do you remember in Sumeru, we were just doing reverse psychology over and over and over again until Alhaitham finally wins the mental battle against Azar? It's like that, except we lost. That's how it feels. How do we recover from this?
What?
No, there's little to be surprised about, Paimon. It is natural, after all. The prophecy will surely come true. We knew this and accepted it. However...
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Furina will remain, weeping on her throne.
I don't know, that looks pretty
Only
definitive.
then will the sins of the people of
everyone's going to
Fontaine
die.
be washed away.
But it's not primordial water.
Help! Over here!
It's not primordial water! They're gonna live! Well, they're gonna drown, but it seems like a lot of them are surviving! That's right! Risley's big ship that he had under there!
All hands initiate emergency rescue!
That seems like an eternity if we'll get forever if we go to.
Hurry! Hey, lend a hand!
Lemonade! Everyone's helping out.
Look! The water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong.
The prophecy was wrong!
Are you alright?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
Did she get a vision there? The light?